And Dawson knocks his hands, and it's like kind of this bang-bang play where Sutton comes in, hits him with Hilton. All of a sudden, that ball pops up in the air. It's a great turnover for that Steelers defense. Short field for their offense.
Yeah, 2 early turnovers for the Bills, giving Pittsburgh a chance, and Big Ben would take advantage, looking for James Washington, giving the Steelers the lead.
This is awesome. Big Ben's going to stare that safety in middle field to his left. One hitch. Ball comes out for that seam post to James Washington. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, Steelers offense, throwing the ball downfield. Nice start.
Here comes more from the Pittsburgh defense. 70 straight games with a sack. That's a new NFL record, breaking a tie they held with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that legendary Tampa 2. Now, we get to the final minute of the half. Here's a huge moment in the game, Dan.
This is what the teams are starting to do defensively against Steelers. Sit on that short passing route 5 or 6 yards, and then drive on the ball when it's starting to get thrown by Big Ben. Huge pick 6 for that Buffalo defense.
Final minute of the half changes all the momentum. Third quarter, Josh Allen came out red hot.
Yeah, it was him and the Stephon Diggs takeover. You get man-to-man, carry everybody else, underneath route replaces, and all of a sudden this offense starts to get a little bit hot. Play action pass. Diggs is going to sit right here. You see this ball comes right out on time. Diggs in the soft spot, and you see a ton of run after catch by him.
Diggs, 10 catches, 130 yards, and that would set up this. Gabriel Davis in the corner of the end zone, 23-7, Dan.
Howitzer! That's an absolute rip. Right hash all the way across the field, over that cover 2 corner before that safety gets there. Big ball.
Allen took the game over in that third quarter. Steelers trying to get back in it. That's Juju Smith-Schuster. It's good. They would get the 2-point conversion, so it's 23-15. Steelers now are down 11 in some desperation. And, Dan, this one's going the wrong way.
Yeah, he's late. Big Ben goes 1, 2, 3 all the way to backside. That's a go route. It's got to get up on time. He knows that. It's an outstanding play by Levi Wallace to turn his body and make that catch. Just a late go ball by Big Ben.
Bills doing that dance. Big Ben, what?
If I don't play good enough football, then I need to hang it up. But, I still feel like I can, do enough things to help this team win football games. And I'm going to do everything I can to get us back on track.
Interesting. So Ryan Clark, again, my resident former Steeler. How much of this is on Ben? He's taking a lot of the responsibility. How much of the struggles, again, they lose 2 games now after an 11-0 start. How much of it do you think is on the quarterback?
I don't think this is all on Seven. And I love the fact that he's taking accountability. I love the fact that he's learned how to lead through some of his failures. But this isn't all on Ben Roethlisberger. The first thing that shouldn't be happening is they shouldn't be putting everything on that 38-year-old quarterback with a rebuilt elbow. They shouldn't be asking him to throw the ball 50 times a game as we've seen him do sometimes this season. They should have a more run-prevalent offense, an offense with a little more creativity that allows some of these playmakers to get the ball in their hands. And so now that teams know that he's trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly, that they're not necessarily trying to allow Big Ben to be hit. They're triggering on the short route. They understand they'll have the one-on-one matchups down the field with the Claypools and the Washingtons from time to time. But this isn't all on Ben Roethlisberger. This is starting to be a team thing. When you lose the people you have defensively and you are so dependent on them, you have to score points. The Steelers have scored under 20 points for 3 games. The last time that happened, I was still playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to him, Bo, for embarrassing me and making me feel old. Also, shout out for the great stats. But that's how bad this offense is playing right now, and you can't just put that on one man.
Look, we watched them play now 3 games in 12 days. In those 3 games, Rex, 2 of which they lost, they've rushed for a combined 136 yards in 3 games. Why are they so one-dimensional, and can they win in January?
Well, they're putting all that, they love those short passing games, spread you out and do all that. That does not help your football team. And you lose that physical play up front. Like, what the hell happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers where they can't knock anybody off the football, and they're not committed to running the ball? I guess that's the reason, but it's unreal. And now you're going to go into the playoffs and you can't run the football? Like, good luck with that, because unfortunately for you, it's going to be a quick exit. If you can't run the football, and Ryan's dead on. When he talks about they're putting way too much on Ben Roethlisberger, that's exactly what I see. We got to get back to running the football here.
And so the Steelers have lost consecutive games. Period, new paragraph. Dan, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills, who, if it were not for one miracle Hail Mary from Kyler Murray, would be on a 7-game win streak. What are you seeing from them and from their quarterback?
Yeah, Greeny, the wagons have been circled in Buffalo. There's not a quarterback in the AFC playoff race that I want in the fourth quarter outside of Patrick Mahomes more than Josh Allen. Like, that's what he's become. When he needs to be his best, he's the best. You watched that fourth quarter yesterday when the kind of game's still somewhat in limbo. He finds the shallow cross, first down. And then all of a sudden the awareness, okay, your blitz comes, my tight end's uncovered, I'll get the ball out of my hands. And then a little bit of like first quarterback sneak, we know that's a big part, but then some checks at the line of scrimmage, them run game when they're bringing that blitz. So he's been outstanding. This is a football team that a lot of people have doubted all year. And I told everyone 6 or 7 weeks ago, this was the team that could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And now people are kind of getting on that train because they got a quarterback that could be explosive. He goes above the X's and O's. The adjustments that their coaching staff made yesterday at halftime of getting the ball out to the perimeter and that zone blitzes and then the runs away from that. That's a big deal. Their defense is a little bit opportunistic right now. They got 10 wins, America. 7 of them are against teams that are 500 or better. 7. Don't talk to me about signature wins. They got 7. This is a signature season for the Buffalo Bills. They're the second best team in that conference and the only one that has a realistic chance of beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Super quick, RC, do you agree with that? Are they the biggest threat to Kansas City in the playoffs?
They are. They are, absolutely. And for every reason that Dan mentioned, you got a quarterback that's ascended into the top tier of quarterbacks in this league, and you have a defense that's starting to get the football, which is extremely important in today's game. You look at the Miami Dolphins yesterday, it wasn't about stopping the Kansas City Chiefs. It was about turning the football over. If this team could turn the football over against the Kansas City Chiefs and give Josh Allen and this offense more opportunities with the football, it's going to be a hell of a day when we get to watch these two teams face off in the playoffs.
And quickly, Rex, where is the quarterback in Buffalo at his best?
Red zone and on third down. And to me, the big advantage they have over Kansas City sounds crazy. In the red zone, give me the Buffalo Bills offense in the red zone over Kansas City. And that's why I think they got, they have a difference. And Ryan, I'm curious. That dude looks like the same guy I used to face when you and I were going against each other. Quarterback in the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reminds me so much of Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
And I thought that when he came out, but I see it right now. It's like, and this is a young Ben Roethlisberger. That's the difference between the old Ben Roethlisberger that we saw playing for Pittsburgh and the young guy that we're seeing in Buffalo.
Bills are playing great right now. All right, let me do on the clock here. There's so many things I want to get in on a Monday, and so let's go through some of these. Rex, the Las Vegas Raiders have fired their defensive coordinator. Their defense has allowed 150 points in their last 4 games. Give me 30 seconds on the situation in Vegas.
Well, Greeny, I understand why they moved on from the defensive coordinator. Look, they're on pace to break a NFL record of giving up half the drives against them, they give up points. Never been done in the history of the NFL. They have way more talent on defense than they're playing, so I can understand the move. They're going to Rod Marinelli. I'm expecting a little more cover too. We'll see, but it's holding this team back.
A month ago, we were talking about them as a dangerous team. What happened?
They're just not playing defense.
It's a disaster, and again, they do fire the defensive coordinator. Dan Orlovsky, you are next. The question is simple, 30 seconds on the clock. Who's the MVP of the league right now?
Aaron Rodgers. If you look at what he's doing more with less. When you talk about the talent that he's playing with, Devontae Adams, unquestionably one of the top receivers in the NFL. But other than that, it's just some good pieces. He's leading Patrick Mahomes when it comes to QBR. He's got more touchdown passes. He's got a better touchdown to interception ratio. This is the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. So right now, today, Aaron Rodgers is your MVP. They've been in lockstep, but after yesterday's performance between those two quarterbacks, Rodgers is the MVP of the NFL. Mahomes best player, Rodgers MVP.
We will show you highlights of Mahomes' performance coming up in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, RC, how about Offensive Player of the Year? Who's the front runner for that? Go.
To me, it's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is about to have the best season that he's ever had. And it's a better season than he had in 2018. And Shannon Sharp, Todd Christensen, Rob Gronkowski, those are the only names of tight ends that have ever gotten votes. And they all got one. This is the year that Travis Kelce wins it. He's not only the best tight end in the league, he might be the best overall receiver. And what he's doing for the Kansas City Chiefs, the pieces that he brings to this offense and the availability that he has for Patrick Mahomes is unmatched in the NFL. And when you watch what he was able to do last year, you see his value. Last game, you see the value to the team and the value to the league. Travis Kelce is your Offensive Player of the Year.
He is the league's leading receiver in terms of yardage. He is ahead of DK Metcalf, who was in second place. Speaking of the Chiefs, as promised, they didn't have their A game yesterday in Miami, and it almost cost